my badass boys and badass babes? It's your favorite keeper of the Golden Rose, Virgo the Vixen. And as always, hit your likes and subscribe buttons wherever they're at, down below, up, down, who cares? Anyways, today I am going to be talking to you about etiquette. Yeah, etiquette. Sometimes we need to go over certain things regarding etiquette. And today we are going to go over etiquette at a funeral. Now, before you start judging me, I have to let this little disclaimer, how can I say this, get this out there? For once, I didn't do anything at the funeral. Okay, so maybe I slapped the priest in the ass and told him, yum, 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 let me get some. But that's besides the point, okay? That's all I did. All right, and I guess that would be our first lesson of etiquette. Apparently, you're not allowed to sexually harass the clergy who is performing the ceremony. It was, and to be for the record, it was his fault. His ass looked great in those slacks, and if he didn't want me sexually harassing him, he shouldn't have worn them. Just throwing that out there. Okay, but otherwise, I didn't do these things, okay? My family did. Now, here's what happened. Recently, I lost one of my uncles. He was an old man. He was in his 90s. He was 94. Now, people ask me, what did he die from? And so I tell them this. He died from a bar fight. Yeah, he was just, had one too many to drink, and so he took on some bikers, and, well, he was in the losing end, but hey, he took two of them. For crying out loud, he was 94 years old. What do you think he died of, people? Come on, he was an old man. It was his time. All right, so let me review. What is a funeral? A funeral is basically a wedding without the cake, so to speak of. Take it for what it is on that. All right, anyways. So the family gets together, and this is another reason. Funerals, I'll just put it in a different way. Funerals are Thanksgiving dinner without the dinner part. Okay, that way I think everyone can understand that a little bit more. So we have friends, we have family. There are people I haven't seen in a while, and for a good reason. All right, now keep in mind, I know this is going to be unbelievable. Call up Ripley's, do whatever you have to do, but this is unbelievable. I was actually behaving. I know, no one's going to believe that, but I was behaving. All right, so let's go over the first rule of etiquette. Don't sexually harass the clergy. That's my fault. That one I am guilty of. But the rest of it, no, I didn't do. I was an innocent bystander on this one. Surprisingly, yes, I was an innocent bystander. So, let me tell you what happened, and then we'll just add the rules as we go along. Rule number 2, don't try to loop the corpse. You heard me. One of my family members, and we'll just call them Jacob, all right? Jacob is one of my cousins, all right? Now, he is the son, I should say the youngest son of my deceased uncle here. He thought it would be fun to take his father's watch off the corpse. That was his favorite watch he wanted to be buried with. Jacob decides, hey, that watch belongs to me. Hey, it's part of the, part of the estate. It's mine. Okay, no, don't steal from the dead at the funeral, okay? Don't be like my cousin Jacob over here. All right, trust me, he got himself a grade B ass whooping. Not a grade A one like he deserves. He got a B one because this is a funeral, so you got to show some respect when you're whooping on a person. All right, so don't steal from the corpse like my cousin did. I guess etiquette number 3. Don't come to the funeral drunk. All right. How do I want to put this in a polite way? Yes, my uncle got married many times, and he was on his 4th wife, who is probably the same age as my youngest daughter, okay? She came to the funeral drunk. I cannot explain why she was drunk. We were all assuming she was in mourning. It could be, or it could be the fact that she's an alcoholic and she drinks all the time. So we really couldn't tell you on that. But in either case, don't drink before you come to the funeral. Why? Here's why. Because you're going to do something or say something that you might regret and is not appropriate. And here's what I mean. When it got time for her to say something about the deceased, she started to talk about their sex life. I'm not kidding you, in graphic detail. These are things I did not want to hear. These are things I did not want to know. These are things I will never get out of my mind. I could set my mind on fire with, let's just see, diesel fuel, and I will still never forget it. All right, I didn't need to know about how my uncle, I'm not going to go into certain details, but needless to say, my uncle was a freak at his age. Just saying. I'm not going to go any further because I don't want you to have the psychological scars that I am forced to bear. So, number 1, don't sexually harass the clergy. Number 2, don't loot the corpse. Number 3, do not get drunk. So, all right. So, what's number 4, you would ask? Number 4, don't speak ill of the dead. All right. Now, I know it's very easy. There's things that we want to say. There's things that we, would like to chime in about. Because my uncle was not necessarily a saintly man. He was not necessarily a good man. He was a man, and one of his ex-wives was there. I believe wife number 2. Or as I call her, the sequel. All right, so the sequel starts bashing about how he was a hoe and how he cheated with some bimbo who just turned out to be wife number 3. So as you can imagine, this kind of resulted into suddenly like a drunken brawl, because here we have a woman who's mourning / drunk, whatever you want to call it, being, let's just say called some very undesirable names at a funeral. So she has to defend her honor, which there isn't any, but she still has to defend it. And the ex-wife and her start to get into a fight. So guess what? I guess we could toss out the grade B ass whooping and we can just go straight to the A+ ass whooping at this point. And I'm telling you, I had nothing to do with these. I am sitting in the back, I am being quiet, and I am shocked that, how can I say this politely? It's like, this is my family. This is how things normally go. The reason I was shocked was, it's like, why the hell do I still keep coming to these things? That's what makes me shocked. It's like, why the hell do I keep coming to this when I know this is how the dumpster fire is going to turn out to be? All right, so the fifth and final etiquette I'm going to go over today, dress appropriately. All right, when you go to a funeral, you want to dress a little bit more, dress it up a little bit. All right, don't come casual. I understand if you want to come casual, but at least make sure your clothes look clean. And I'm going to say the 5th rule is no Crocs. If you can wear something other than Crocs, I'm going to just say please do. Because some of my uncle's oldest friends, their wives decided, you know what? And they decided to wear Crocs. And you know what? I got to tell you, I don't give a damn. You're wearing Crocs to a funeral. That's what I'm looking for. You're trashy. All right? Dress up. You can put on a sandal. You can put on something. I guess I'm gonna make this Crocs / flip-flops. All right? Don't wear flip-flops. Don't wear Crocs. I understand if you got foot problems, maybe then I might allow an exception. But otherwise, no. This is a funeral. Come dressed respectfully. All right? Show some respect for the dead. Even though some of them don't deserve it, but just still nonetheless deserve it. So let's review the 5 rules, just the basic 5 rules of etiquette, because I could go on with more. Number 1, don't sexually harass the clergy. Number 2, do not loot the corpse. Number 3, do not come to the funeral drunk. Number 4, do not speak ill of the dead. Number 5, dress appropriately. So I guess today's life lesson is whenever you go to a funeral, make sure it's not my family, okay? I guarantee you, this is the stuff that gave Jerry Springer the rise in fame because of all the crap my family has done and the fact the crap that they still do at funerals, weddings, and any other festive, or should I say not festive, but any other celebration that families come to get together. You think your family screwed up? Well, take a look at mine. Well, anyways, my badass boys and badass babes, hopefully my etiquette lessons have taught you something for the future. Anyways, who's your vixen and bye-bye.